Hi, everybody. This is Sarah, Gig Girl, Pearls of Wisdom. And here we go again with another little video about talking about gig life and all the trials and tribulations and wonderfulness and suckiness and everything else that happens to us. I just finished my strong Lavazza coffee and now I'm getting ready. I'm doing in-store shopping all day. As I record this, it's Saturday. It is still August, and we are expecting Henri for company. And whether we want him to come or not, little hurricane. This is what happens sometimes in the summer, and it kind of kills the whole summer when it happens. It's kind of like game over. And so here we go. And so I will go in and if you think that having low inventory and out of stock things on a regular day, try having a hurricane. There won't be any white bread, any eggs, any water, and what else would they run out of? Probably, well, definitely the water. It's probably all gone already as I record this, but here we go. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is kind of semi-serious, and it affects a lot of us. And what do we do? A lot of us made the changeover to 100% gig life. And I gig life. And it's very important for us to keep that independence. It's kind of like being an independent truck driver doing cross-country loads and finally saying, it's just too much. I'm going to take a W-2 truck driving job. And for me, the W-2 went from being, totally mostly at Instacart to the in-store shopper. I don't necessarily think it's a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of like understanding that, it's like diversifying, if you have any money, diversifying where you put your money for your retirement or just to have a nest egg for the next 6 to 12 months as we go through all this turbulence that we're going through. I mean, you think the mask thing is a big deal. Try the rest of the COVID and the variants and Afghanistan, and here comes Hurricane Henri. And so hedging your bets and taking, doing your gig world, but maybe taking a W-2 job just for the sake of it. It does have benefits, literally and emotionally, physically, mentally. There are benefits to doing it. You do have a place to go. It doesn't mean you can't do gig work anymore. And I think that that's the true independence of the gig life, is that you can turn on your app. I can turn on my app at 1 o'clock in the morning and take a bunch of drunks home with Lyft or Uber. It's there. It's lit up in red, right? As long as the bars are still open. And I could do that. But then there's also I only work 4 hours at the store, which isn't true. They usually give you 8-hour shifts. But, I have done gig from 6 to 8:30. Sometimes I've cashiered at like 9. And so I've done a couple of Instacart trips, gone in and done my 4 hours of cashiering. And then I've got the rest of the afternoon. If I want it, I usually don't. I'm one of those that I put a fork in it between noon and 1. I'm 71 now, and I think starting at 5:30 in the morning, 7 days a week, whether it's for my W-2 in-store shopping job or for Instacart mostly, 5:30 to 12:30 or 1 is plenty for me because I have that second life of taking care of home and husband. I'm very old-fashioned that way. I do all of the food prepping in my head and purchasing. And then, although he cooks on the grill a couple of days a week, it's all in my head about what meal is coming what day. And, I food prep in the morning. I'll prep my salad. I'll prep a lot of stuff. So when I leave at 5:30, I know that when I come home, it's pretty much assembling the meal. But yesterday I did, there was an Instacart promotional thing where they paid $74 for 5 batches completed. And I actually did it. And I actually got $20 from Instacart on that promotion. I took the lowest ones I could find, and the last one was like $8, and it was less than a half a mile from the store. Perfect. It even had a tip that was like 75% of what the order was. Yeah, I can do that. And so, yeah, I did that. And I did 5 trips. One was a double, and I only put 41 miles on the car. So the wear and tear part was good. I had brought the Camry in for its 100,000-mile little checkup. That cute little old girl. She's old like me, but she's great on the inside. And it was $500 to do all the cabin and the AC and the look over and the flushes and all the stuff that they do. But it's well worth it with something like that you expect to get another whole 100K out of, right? So I was delighted with that. But it's good that I have my income because, so in the late spring, when I saw what was coming down the pike with the slowdown, yeah, I bitched about it because that's what we do, right? It's like the slowdown. Where's this coming from? And you figured that they saturated the market with Instacart, with all the college kids and everybody else and summer jobs, and you're going to do this. And so it became very apparent that I would make $100 to $300 less. And although I was getting in my edge every morning and doing the Uber ride share with people, it was like there were like 2 trips and then it just went radio silent. And so it's like, well, I guess having the edge for just that isn't that cool of a thing. So, I'd go back to Instacart. And when Instacart started dropping the orders at like 20 to 6, quarter of 6 in the morning, it's like I'm there because I prefer Instacart. I know that's, I don't prefer their support or anything else, but I like the shopping. I mean, I have invested in myself, and it's like that silly skill set that all of us have if we're Instacart or Corner Shop or any of those grocery store shoppers. We've learned the layouts of the stores, and there's always an obscure item on it. Isn't it funny how you get this basic order? A basic order is really golden, right? It's just like they want the center of the aisles, they want 6 bananas. That's, like, doesn't everybody? And then, all the way through to the dairy with the yogurts and the bread. And it's like, and in between is all your standard things. You say, where are the Pringles? Where is the granulated sugar? Where is the rice-a-roni? But then that you get in those weird, like, spices or international things that aren't international because, why would they do that? Why would they make it easier, right? So anyway, I decided, in-store shopper might be the way. And that nice manager that I was always talking about at Shaw's that would always open a register for me, he knew I did Instacart. And I said, hey, do you need any help? This was in May. And he said, yeah, look at her. She's over there in the Doug Drive Up and Go where we shop in store, which used to be Instacart. And she said, yeah, she could use help. And so I was hired on the spot, which was great. And no regrets. The paycheck has been great, and I don't feel like I'm weak or failure. I tend to look at myself as kind of savvy business-wise because my coffers are still being filled, and I could still be like the squirrel putting away those nuts for the winter because I'm 71 and I've weathered a lot of storms, literally with Henri and other storms that have come our way and devastated the Cape. And it's like that's what we do. I mean, sometimes we're saving for the now, for next week, the rent, the car payment, or, an extraordinary car bill like me with the 500 so we can, pay that. And other times it's like we're thinking of our future, of like the retirement. And the thing with gig work is that you really have to, when they say get a real job, it's like, you have no idea. We have to become quite literally mini accountants, mini masters of economics, right? We have to know how to put aside for taxes, how to put aside for car repairs, How about that excise tax bill we get in Massachusetts? Sometimes it's like $400 if you have a relatively new car. It's like, oh, thanks for thinking it's still worth 20 grand, right? You know, and you just bought it for 15. And we have to, put aside all those things. Well, 401k, forget that. Day off, forget that. Insurance, forget that. Health insurance, although they offer it. But, unless we're fortunate and we're married to somebody that gets it from a W 2, or like me, I'm 71, so it's Medicare with the Medicare add on. So I've got Blue Cross, so I'm covered. But we have to become pretty savvy about those sort of things if we want to be able to succeed. So when they say, get a real job, it's like you have no idea. You have no idea of like what we have to think about, how we have to be. And if you're not knowledgeable about this stuff and Instacart is paying you your $700 for last week's shops that you did, all the orders and batches, and you spend 750 of the 700, nothing aside for taxes or repairs or gas or anything that you put on your credit card, you could be SOL. So there's times when, it sounds insulting when they say get a real job. We want to keep our independence, that whole gig life. It's like a banner we wear. It's something that we love. It's that freedom. When I'm not working at the store and I have that whole day for mostly Instacart, actually, I should say all Instacart at this point, it's a freedom that I wouldn't trade for anything. I can come home, I can pee, make a fresh cup of coffee, take the load of laundry from the washer, put it in the dryer, say hi to the kitties, and just go on with my day. I love that. Grab a Gerolsteiner, because it's hot and I'm trying to stay hydrated. There's nothing to trade that in. With the W-2, sometimes it's so busy at the store, I get my first coffee break where I have my coffee that I bring with me, and then the rest of the day is a blur. There's no lunch, there's no second break, you can't even do a text or a phone call. It's so busy, and I know it's going to be that way today with the hurricane coming because New Englanders are known, or at least the people that I know and the elderly, which we have a lot of on Cape Cod, is known for the panic. And so, what's it cost to go and bring in a couple of cases of water, the milk, the eggs, the bread, for the big storm, the big one's coming, whether it's a snowstorm or a hurricane. And so those that use Drive Up and Go or Instacart are going to be doing it today. And they're going to have that expectation that on Saturday of the storm, that we'll all be there. That's where you laugh. Do you see below where it says, please laugh? I don't need a laugh track because you're all laughing. So take a breath. When somebody says get a real job, it is real, and it's realer than your easy, soft place to land W-2, where you get away with a lot and you get all those perks. Maybe it is time to have a little safety net of one of those W-2 jobs along with your gig life. It's not either or. You can blend them. You're not a failure. You're smart. You're wicked smart because you're taking care of you. And you know that, if it's 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week or maybe full time and you'll still gig on weekends and your 2 days off or your nights or whatever, you've got that soft cushion over there, and you are planning for your future. And maybe you're being insured for the first time and a lot of times because maybe you haven't been taking care of yourself because it's gig life and it's like one more day, one more day, one more day. And you kind of don't stop your day. I don't hear it from a lot of gig workers. I'm stopping my day and going for my annual physical. I don't hear them say that. Or I have to go get lab work because I have my annual physical. Or I feel like my heart is pounding out of my chest with stress. I don't know if it's my heart. My father died at 52. Maybe it's coming for me too. Or it's just stress and you're doing too much. We don't know those things. We don't know when we wear and tear our bodies when you're younger, because most everybody's younger than me that does gig work, right? Although I know there's a few of you hardy ones out there too in your 70s. But we need to take care of ourselves. And sometimes taking care of ourselves is physical, mental, emotional, and also financial. So you're not weak if you take on a W-2 job. You're smart, you're savvy. It's just a nice cushion, and think of it that way. And don't be insulted when they say get a real job because they have no clue. That's why we have places like this to come and talk and share and listen to other gig workers. Because, yes, they're that rare breed of people that we identify with, and we want to know we're not crazy for having these feelings or wanting this lifestyle, but we have to be smart too and know that we're covered at the end of the week with what we need to cover the car that we need for Instacart and all the rest of the gig work, but also the rest of the bills that come in with it. So take a breath. It's not a debate. It's not something to get angry with somebody. It's something to take care of yourself. You just don't know. And so many of you have so much talent with all that you do with your videos. I'm just me with a plant behind me, right? And a cat and a bathrobe, right? And sometimes a mug of coffee. But others are brilliant in how they can do it with the music and the add-ons and the pictures and the graphics. I don't got that. But I know how to get in my car and shop. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Gig Life, Gig Girl. And this is Pearls of Wisdom. And I hope that was a little Pearls of Wisdom bundle for you for today. Thanks for being here. I'll see you here the next time. Bye-bye for now.